Hi guys, welcome to my channel. Welcome back if you've been here before. I haven't filmed in a while and this is my first ish video that I'm doing in this format. So bear with me, I'm a little bit out of my comfort zone, and as a preface before I start this video, this whole channel is only a thing because I've taken up Alicia's from Adventure Denali channel point of view towards this entire form of expression. I find it to be a form of journaling, so that's how I log certain experiences and certain parts of my pen journey. And so that's the only reason why I feel comfortable uploading. I don't see myself as a content creator. I cannot edit, and yes, that's what I wanted you to know. This is a very indie channel, as I like to call it. And the reason why I'm making another video is because Leanne from Leanne Likes and Simone from Simone channel are hosting the second year of 8 pen questions, which I've been a part of. I've kind of crashed the party, to be honest. So I didn't really know about how it works. I've seen people upload the videos and answer the questions and just tag it, so that's what I did. And this year I'm a part of Simone's Discord. And I will put a bunch of information in the description box. So please do check that out as well. You will find the previous video and the next video there as well. So because it's been almost 2 minutes already, I'm just going to jump into the questions. And the first question is, when and how did your fountain pen journey begin? So I've answered this question last year, but I'm not entirely sure how I answered it because I decided not to go and watch the video again. So I'm just gonna say the story as I remember it now. I don't really remember the dates anymore. I presume it was about 2019, 2020, when I again was influenced by Alicia from Adventure Denali. I was fairly recently, I had moved to Sweden, and I was missing a little bit of the coziness of a certain aesthetic from home, I suppose. I was looking for certain aspects of that, and I found that comforting vibe that she has on her channel very appealing. And a part of that were her Chic Sparrow leather covers, which I have one of those here, and then I have another one that I'm currently thinking of selling. It's a small one, a pocket size. So those two things I've adopted from her. So that was actually how my fountain pen journey started. I found her channel to be very relaxing, and it actually kind of felt like a place to find a little bit of sanctuary in the midst of a PhD that I was doing at a time. For full disclosure, I'm no longer doing it. I'm currently hopefully finishing a licentiate, but at that time I was immersed in this huge project that I didn't feel comfortable in, and I found that comfort on the channel, and that's what kind of threw me into the world of fountain pens. I started with a varsity pen. I just wanted to see whether I can even get used to holding a fountain pen, and I enjoyed that experience so much that I went on and bought a TWSBI. This and my next pen, which was a Kaweco. I have the props here. I hope it doesn't take too long because I want to show off a little bit as well, because I don't post that much anymore. So my Kaweco, these were my first two pens, and I think you know those. Those are both very common fountain pens in the fountain pen world. And those two are how my fountain pen journey had started. And once I did that, I realized I really enjoyed the tactile experience. It helps me want to write. I always enjoyed writing and I always wanted to do it, but I always felt difficult to get started, and the fountain pens kind of helped with that. And I am predominantly a fountain pen lover. I am not that into inks and collecting. I'm curious and I want to try everything, and I love sampling inks, even though it's not really that common in Europe, but I'm not drawn to the hobby because of the versatility of the inks or the colors. I like to have a safe comfort zone that kind of flows when I'm writing, and that's kind of journaling is, I think, why I initially started. So that's a very long answer, so we can go to the next one. The second question. What were your favorite inks in the beginning, and what are your go-to inks now? So my favorite inks in the beginning, well, the first one that I had was a Sioro Iroshizuku, and I've forgotten to take that one out, but my favorite color in general was always blue. I liked different shades of blue, and greenish blues are very appealing to me. So for that reason, that was the first ink that I acquired in order to have something to ink up my pen with. I actually think it's currently in there. So let's try and do a little sample. Bear with me. I hope this is not too annoying. I'll just take a scrap of paper and show you. Yes, this is Sioro. So I'm not thinking that this will actually show properly. But yeah, so it's a greenish blue, I guess. And that's a really appealing color to me. It's beautiful. It's just for some reason not the shade that I really most enjoy writing with. And for that experience, I prefer the next acquisition that I made, and I'm not entirely sure how it went. It was Robert Oster Avocado and Diamine Ancient Copper, and this is the ink that everybody uses and everybody loves, and so do I. I just like this combination of Ancient Copper and the Kaweco. That's my favorite combination, together with Tomoe River paper. For me, it's very important that the paper that I write on is kind of contributing well to the tactile, to the sensation of writing. And so Tomoe River paper and these two, so I think those are the most common in their respective categories. So there's nothing original about the combination, and I just really don't need anything else. That's how I love writing. I like having cafe notes, notebooks. I have no idea what will happen when they run out of their stash. I haven't tried the new Tomoe River paper, I don't think. But yeah, so that is my first ink that I kind of clicked with fully, and I never looked back. I love that ink for writing, and that's the main reason why I do this in the first place. So Ancient Copper and Avocado by Robert Oster. And I'm now fully committing to making this an unreasonably long video. Okay, so this one is Ancient Copper swatched on what I suppose is something MD, because that's the thank you note that I got from my last order from a paper store, web store that I bought some writing supplies from. So yeah, that's the paper, and then I'm hoping I won't contaminate the ink with my brush, but this is the Avocado. So those two were my favorites and still are. That said, I was very fortunate to have some friends who don't mind spoiling me occasionally, and I got some samples from Serial Nana, who did the day 2 of this challenge, so you can go check that video out as well. She has gifted me Alt Goldgrün from Rohrer everybody's gonna laugh because you all know what it is and I can't read it. I want to say Klingner, but it's probably not it. Scabiosa by the same brand, and Diamine Ochre. So these three ink samples are the ones that I've used up the most. I don't know why. I really like Diamine Ochre. I ink it very often to write with. And then Alte Goldgrün is just also very beautiful. I don't reach for greens as much, but obviously I reached for this one a lot. So yeah, that's the ones that I'm not so surprised by. But obviously, and this surprised me, I've used up quite a lot of Scagiosa as well. I'm so helpful here. And that's a purple one. And I've had 2 bottles of purples before, violets, and I really didn't enjoy the experience that much. So there's something about this one for some reason that resonates well with me. I think it's high time that I go forward. So question number 3, how have your ink and pen tastes changed over time? And I think I've actually answered that. Okay, I just had to check if it's still filming. But yeah, I've actually kind of started answering that. So this one is still a go-to, still very much practically from the beginning when I actually discovered what it is that I like. It's still a very reached for ink. And then these 3 samples, I won't be purchasing full bottles of them because I'm perfectly comfortable having just enough of these. But I love being able to change up occasionally, and these 3, I've gotten more from her, so there are a few others that I occasionally ink up, but these are the ones that I have most often used. So let's go forward. Question number 4, are there inks and pens that you have yet to try but would like to? Inks change very often, because I am very... Yeah, I like seeing shiny new things and new colors, and I really like Pannonia's combinations of inks, ink colors and ink names. So very often I will have a feeling that I really want their ink, and then after a few days I'm no longer attracted to it. So those things are more like they're pretty and I don't need them. So I would try many of them, but I don't really need to. I don't mind not trying them. Pens, on the other hand, I'm always changing up what I want to try. I have several maquilles on my wish list on Stilo, I'm not entirely sure how that's pronounced. And so I know that I want to have a maquille for some reason. I don't know why. I just like how they look. And then I've wanted for a while to get Kaweco in bronze as well, because this is brass. I hope I said it correctly. So this is brass, and in the same manner that I started being drawn to this one, I was watching a video by Adventure Denali's Alicia, and I saw the bronze one and how highly she spoke of it, and I know by now that the experiences in that department that she gravitates towards work for me as well. So given that I like this pen so much, I also want a bronze one now too as well. Luckily, they're all sold out in all the places where I source my pens from at this moment. So right now it's not a possibility, but if it were, I think that would be my next acquisition. And then I also have tried once in Lexispaper, which is a store in Lund on the south of Sweden, where I've gotten to try, also by Kaweco, their, not their Lilliput, but the Supra. And I've heard conflicting experiences with Supra, so I haven't acquired it yet, but I am very drawn to it. I really enjoyed the experience. I remember trying the extra fine, and this is a fine, and I mostly gravitate towards fines, but yeah, that was such an amazing experience trying that one out, that I think if that's what my experience would be, if I had it, I would absolutely want to have it. And then I just remembered about how I wanted to talk a little bit, backtrack to question number 3, the question about how my pen taste changed over time, and I started talking a little bit about the quality of the paper, and this is something that I also talked to Serial Nana about before, and that's how the paper influences the writing experience and what pens I reach for. This is a medium nib. I barely ever I only prefer this pen to thinner ones when I'm writing on my Leuchtturm, and I have a Leuchtturm 5-year journal. So that's when I use this one, but honestly, I could let this one go. I'm not a big fan of TWSBI. On the other hand, I have a set of pens that I have inherited from, well, they were gifted to me by my father, who inherited them when his relative unfortunately passed away, and those pens are vintage, they're older, and so those pens have juicier nibs, and they work much better for me when I'm not using Tomoe River paper. Then in journaling, I currently do use Midori paper. I use a Midori journal in B6 at the moment, and that works much better with a nicer, broader nib than a fine. So my preferred combination isn't Tomoe River paper, but currently I'm switched to Midori, so my pen preferences kind of adjust to that. It's not a change in preference as much as it's an adjustment in relation to the combinations that I'm using. Sorry for that, we're back on track now. So are there any pens that you would like to try? I think I mentioned most of the ones that I want. There are many others that I occasionally think that I would like to have them, but no, I don't think any particular one comes to mind right now, other than the ones that I've already mentioned. So what is your holy grail pen? And I just shown it. It's this one. Again, this is my favorite go-to pen. This will always be one of my, if not my favorite, fountain pen. This is just something that is very special to me, not only because of the way that I've acquired it, but it's a big part of it. So I got it from my father, obviously, but also I really wanted this one. I've seen it so many times. I had it on my Pinterest. I had it pinned among the things that I would like to own one day. And then it just kind of came. I just got it. It was part of the 12 pens that I got from my dad. And I love the turquoise shell. I love it in green. I love how it writes. I've recently realized that when it's paired with, and I think this is ochre, diamine ochre, but I'm not 100% sure, but I think it is. I realized that I really liked, this is my junk journal that I made, and I recently had a journaling session in it, and I mean, I really like how it lays down ink. I like the difference in the pen stroke, because it has some flex in the nib. It's a semi-flex. It's not a flex nib, but it's semi-flex, and I really, really like how it comes out, and the experience, it's different to like my functional writing, as I call it. It doesn't flow in the same way. It's slower, it's more of a meditative experience, but when I can slow down and just have that experience and have that beautiful lettering at the end, for my standards, obviously my handwriting is not anything spectacular, but for my usual handwriting, that's beautiful. Okay, let's move on. Question number 6, how many pens do you currently own? And the answer to that question is 14. I think it's the same as the same time last time. Not all of the pens that I own are functional. Not all of them work, because the ones that I've gotten that are older, some of them were no longer, either were missing nibs and I cannot find the replacement, or the mechanism is just not working. So I do have them. I don't intend to get rid of them, but I can't write with them. Do you have a limited, this is question number 7, do you have a limit on pens/inks in your collection? Is it a number, a feeling? When do you know you've reached your maximum? At this moment in time, I don't see myself getting more than 1 or 2 other at all. I would really like at some point to be able to get a gallon letter or something, or maybe a superior label pen roll, something where I can store them more easily and feel like they're a collection and taken care of in a weird way. And so maybe then I would want to have more, but at this moment I don't. I think it's just a feeling, to be quite honest. If I want a new one, the feeling is yes, I want it. If I'm fine, then I don't. So I play according to that, and it can change, and that's fine. I don't have any like restriction. And the last question is, consequently, what would you do if another pen came along? I would take it. I'm not a buy, sell, trade type of person, which I wish I were. And I don't have Facebook at all. It's a little bit more difficult for me to rotate them. So, yeah, I don't think if I were to say yes to a pen, that I would be then letting it go. But I wouldn't say yes to just any pen. Maybe I would, to be honest. But yeah, it has to be something that draws me to a pen. But if there's a reason why I would want it included in my collection, I absolutely would. And the reason is, it's enough that I actually just enjoy the experience. There's no like special requirement. It's just that as long as it's working for me, it goes into my collection. I don't mind. I'm nowhere near the feeling of being overwhelmed. So yeah, I think if a new pen came along, chances are I'd be keeping it. Okay, so that's it, and thank you for watching. I hope this wasn't boring. I hope you check out other people's 8 questions tag, 8 pen questions tag if you haven't already. Again, I repeat, check out the description box so you can find the previous one, and you can find a creator who will be recording for the following day. Thank you again, and I'll see you hopefully sooner. Bye!